Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare, makeup and hair care specifically designed for older faces. Today I'm going to be using some of our best sellers to create an everyday makeup look for older faces. And I have already done and used all my primers. So I've used my Smooth Like Silk Face Prime, my Smooth Out Eye Prime and my Never Feather Lip Prime. And I have done my base, but now I'm going to apply some of our best-selling products to create some colour on my eyes, my cheeks and my lips. So let's get started. So I've already done my eye primer, as I said, which I've placed just a small amount all over my lids and just sort of bringing it up to here. And the first colour that I am going to choose to put on my eyes is one of our non-shimmer eye shades, and it is in the shade Cappucino. This is a really lovely colour to use every day. It's a very natural colour. It's a little bit sort of like a mushroomy type of colour, and it will suit everybody. So I'm going to be using my eyeshadow brush number 7, and I'm going to just put it all over my lid, a wash of colour all over my lid. You'll see it's just very gentle. If you're a little bit nervous about using eyeshadows, then this is a great one. I often use cream as my base, but this is just gives you a little bit more colour than cream, but it's still very, very gentle and easy to use. So I'm bringing it, that's sort of my angle where I'm not going beyond, and I'm bringing it to just above my socket line. As we get older and our eyelids become a little bit less smooth and a little bit more wrinkly or hooded, then a no shimmer shade is really flattering rather than something that's highly shimmery and reflective. So let's just do this one as well. And make sure when you're putting your base colour on that you do put enough so that you haven't got a patchy base. So you can just build it up gently with the brush. I've got blue eyes, so this is a nice contrasting colour to blue, but likewise you could use this with brown eyes, green eyes. It would work just as well. So you can see it's just given me a little bit of colour, but without being too heavy. The next colour I'm going to use is in the same family. It's just a tiny bit darker, and it is our shade Taupe. I love this one. Again, really, really easy to use. So I'm just going to create a slightly darker area in my socket line. And this time I'm going to use our brush number 9, eyeshadow brush number 9, which is a little bit smaller. So it allows me to be a little bit more precise. So I'm bringing this just above my socket line and in the socket line in a sort of windscreen wiper motion. And you can see it's the same tone, but just a tiny bit darker. So again, this will look very natural for an everyday look for your eyes. And it's hard to go wrong with these colours. This one. So I'm bringing it just a little bit above the socket line so that when my eyes open, you can still see that colour, which has the effect of lifting my slightly, everybody's eyes tend to go a little bit more hooded as we get older. So you can kind of create the effect of lifting by making the socket line look higher than it is, because it's a darker colour. Darker shades push back and recede. Lighter shades bring forward. So just building that up and bringing it down a little bit onto the base of my lashes. And now I'm going to go back with the first brush, which was my brush number 7, and just blend that really gently. I tend to go out to in, just so I don't drag it round the side of my face, but whatever works for you. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a bit of definition. My eyes are lacking definition. So I'm going to use one of our lovely soft eyeliners. And the shade I am using today is dark brown. So these are really simple to use because they are just a little retractable pencil. And I'm going to just do it onto the base of my lashes. And I like to taper it slightly so that it is slightly lifted at the outer edge and then just sort of disappears into the base of my lashes as I get towards the middle. And this will just make your lashes look thicker. I'm going to put just a little bit on the bottom. You don't have to do it underneath if you don't want to, but I'm going to put a little bit just under. Again, slightly wider at the outside and then just tapering it slightly into the middle. And then I'm just going to bring the bottom up to meet the top. Okay, that's given me a little bit of definition. As I said, they're so soft that they don't drag the skin around your eyes, which is so much thinner. So I'm going to now use a third shade. This is one of my favourites. This is called Chocolate. This one, Chocolate. And I'm going to first of all use my lovely wedge brush number 8. And I'm going to just soften the eyeliner and set it even more with a little bit of chocolate. So just taking it up onto the brush. And I just take the excess off on my hand. And then with the pointy bit on the outer edge, I'm just going to go over the eyeliner. This is very flattering to an older eye because it just softens it a little bit, as I said. So even if the skin on the top of your eyes is not as smooth as it used to be, by not trying to create the perfect liquid eyeliner look, you can still look as though you've got more definition, but it will just be softer and kinder. And easier when you can't see very well as well. I've got my magnifying mirror here. What would I do without my magnifying mirror? So underneath, I'm actually going to use not the chocolate, but I am going to use a little bit of the taupe, which was the colour I've just put here, just to soften that with a slightly lighter colour. I could have used the chocolate. And lastly, while I've got my chocolate out, I'm actually going to just give myself a tiny bit more colour on the outer corners using, again, the brush number 9. You don't have to do this, but I quite like to just give myself a little bit of extra zing by putting a tiny bit of the darkest colour just on that outer corner. Just here and here. Because I've already put the taupe on, it's not so scary because I've already sort of put my template of where I'm going to put the darker colour, and it will just diffuse it a little bit more because I've got a lighter colour underneath, so it's not as dark as putting neat chocolate on. Making me hungry. And again, I'm going to blend that quite firmly out to in. Right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some mascara. My lashes are quite fair, so I am going to use our beautiful Lithe Lash Mascara in black waterproof. So I'm just going to quickly curl my lashes first, which I love to do before I put my mascara on. Just opens my eyes up. Really useful to do for an older eye. And let's put some mascara on. The mascara is beautiful because it does not clump at all. Got no nasty bits in. So it's lovely on older lashes. Take your time over this bit because it's very easy to blob or sneeze if you rush it. Suddenly your eyes become framed with mascara. This would definitely be one of my desert island products. There we go. That's the top ones. Done. If you want to put a little bit on the bottom, you can. I'm just going to put a little bit on these bottom lashes. Trying to get to those outer ones that are almost disappeared. And I'm going to use the same colour that I used on my socket line, which is taupe, this one. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that onto my eyebrows. And I'm going to use a clean wedge brush to do that. I could use Bring Back Brow, but for an everyday look, sometimes I just use the taupe for speed. Usually it's when I'm in a rush, which is quite often. It just gives me that little bit of extra colour. So I now need a little bit of colour on my cheeks and on my lips. And I'm going to use our lovely, fabulous blush in Desert Rose. This is a really nice product. It's a cream blusher, but as you put it on, it turns into a sort of slightly silky powder. So I like to apply it with my finger. And I'm going to just start and just bring that upwards. Because it's cream, you can just build it up. And it doesn't sink in because it's a powder. It just really, really, really easy to use. What I like to do is then to use my blusher brush to just, this is blusher brush number 2, just to blend it a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Sometimes I put my blusher on, then I put my lips on, and then I go back and reassess whether I need any more. Just makes you look a little bit healthier. So you've been for a nice brisk walk in the fresh air. And I think blusher would probably be another one of my Desert Island products. Now I need some lips, and I'm going to use a long-lasting lipstick so that I can put it on in the day and not worry about it at all. And I am going to use the longer-lasting shade in True Coral, this one of my favourites. Now I've done my lips, what I'm going to do is just go back and see, do I need any more blusher? Sometimes I just think a little bit more blusher after lips. There we have the finished look, just an everyday makeup look, fairly natural eyes, but quite easy to use, and a little bit of colour on my lips, a little bit of colour on my cheeks, and I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. If you've got any comments, or if you've got any of your own personal favourite everyday items, we would really love to hear from you in the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.